Gregorio Lopez Fuentes was born on 17 November 1895 and lived till 10 December 1966. He was Mexican novelist, poet and journalist, and one of the famous writers who has influenced contemporary literature. His works have been widely translated into other languages and have deeply influenced Latin American literature. Lancho was a poor farmer. He was very hard working. Once there was a hailstorm, it destroyed his crops completely. Lancho had great faith in God. He wrote a letter to God. He asked God to send him money. The postmaster saw this letter. He decided to help Lancho. He collected some money. He put it inside an envelope. Lancho came to the post office to check his mail. The post office people gave him the envelope. Lancho opened the envelope. He took out the money and counted it. He found that it was less than he had asked for. He wrote another letter to God. He asked God to send him the rest of the money, but he wanted him not to send the money throughout the mail. He said that the post office people were a bunch of crooks. This is a story of hard-working farmer Lancho. He is expecting a good harvest this year. If it rains, the rain does come bringing brief happiness. However, a hailstorm follows the rain destroying all his crops. Being deeply hurt, he looked towards God. Having an unshaken faith in God, he writes a letter to him, demanding 100 pesos. This amount is sufficient enough to sow his crop again. He posts it. The postman has a hearty laugh when he reads it and shows it to the postmaster. The postmaster, being a generous man, decided to help Lancho. He gave a part of his salary and collect money from the employees. He sent 70 pesos to Lancho. Lancho's happiness was momentary when he counted the money. God can't deceive him. It is the work of post office employees. He writes another letter to God asking him not to send the remaining 30 pesos by mail as post office employees are a bunch of crooks. The lesson shows three things. It shows Lancho's firm faith in God. His faith is rewarded throughout the helpers and human beings. Secondly, it shows the utter announce of the farmer, Lancho. Thirdly, the lesson gives a message that sometimes even your generosity is not recognized. You may not get any credit for your generosity and kindness, but on the other hand, you may be misunderstood as a bunch of crooks. The main characters are God, Lancho, and Postmaster. Lancho was a farmer. He had the field of ripe corn dotted with the flowers. He hoped for a downpour, or at least a shower. He was happy to see huge mountains of clouds. But suddenly, a strong wind began to blow with the large hailstones. The hail raged for an hour, and the field was white as if covered with salt. The corn was totally destroyed. The hail has left nothing. He did not understand what to do, but he had a great faith on God. He decided to seek help from God. He wrote a letter to God demanding 100 pesos. When the postman read the letter addressing to God, he could not stop himself by laughing. But the postmaster, who was a fat, amiable man, decided to help Lancho. He collected 70 pesos from his friends' charity and he himself gave part of his salary. The following Sunday, Lancho came to collect the money, but he was disappointed to find only 70 pesos. He was angry and he wrote again a letter to God demanding rest of the money. He also wrote that the God should not send the money throughout the post office because what he believed that the post office employees are bunch of crooks.